And good morning, Savannah and the Low Country. Let's throw the Coastal Empire in there. It's the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here live at Coach's Corner because it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network, and it's presented by Coach's Corner. Well, it's another Saturday live in the Sound Garden. Yes, I'm on the Sound Garden stage. You got the 975-inch TVs behind me. You know what's going to happen today. We got Georgia, Florida State, 4 o'clock, but there's a bunch of bowl games. You want to come watch Penn State at 12 noon or at noon, at 12 o'clock noon, whatever you want to call it. Come on out. Check it out. It's on every single TV in this place. There's a gazillion of them, okay? And it's always a lot of fun being here, whether you watch me for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, or watch the replay. Whatever you got to do, you got to do. I appreciate you for being here. It's December 30th, 2023, a week after Christmas. Been a lot of fun. I got to do 2 shows during a Christmas holiday, which usually doesn't happen. But got a great lineup for you. But like I said, it's part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We have 4 shows. We have 3 live shows and a podcast. Of course, the Karl DeMasi Sports Report every Saturday morning, 9 till about 10:30. Today it's going to be till about 10 o'clock. I couldn't get many guests, but I got a good guest for you. I'll tell you in a second. And then, of course, we got Rubbin' and Grubbin' Wednesday nights with the OG of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. That's Lawrence Bennett, the producer, with the Atlanta man, Brandon Bain, talking all things NASCAR. They rub about cars and they grub about food. I don't get any food because there's no breakfast here anymore. So, but anyway, 11 o'clock, I might go in there and grab some wings. I know it's a little early, but I don't mind the wings. All right. And then, of course, we have one live show that goes only for 1 week, 5 straight days. The Herb Brothers doing the 19th hole, all things Masters, first week of April. It's great. Go watch the last year's show on YouTube, the 19th hole. You'll get a kick. And there's one podcast. It's the Who's on First Base baseball podcast with the coach, Karl DeMasi, and, of course, my good buddy, the Cubby Man. Okay, the Cubby Man from Chicago, but he lives here in Savannah. And that's, of course, Kyle Lawson, the baseball fanatic. All right, guest today. There's only one guest. It's the coach and the other coach, the coach and the coach. Okay, I get to do the show with my son, Russell DeMasi. He's been under my wing since he's 4 years old, breaking down films, playing football, talking football, playing all other sports, baseball, basketball. But he's now the associate head coach, the offense coordinator at Wayne State University in Detroit, Michigan. Can't wait to have him on. He'll be on about 9:15. We got 2 segments with him. The first segment, we're going to talk NIL, name, image, likeness, what is done to college football. Then we're going to talk about transfer portal, which kills me. We got 46 bowl games, and we got a bunch of kids that went to the transfer portal, so they're not playing. Then the kids that opt out, that they're going to the NFL. I don't know. We'll get his perspective because he's the college coach. I was college coach once for 1 year on basketball, but not football. And then the second segment with him, we'll talk about Savannah area football. The man knows it. He recruited it. Savannah State 6 years, short of college for 2 years, now up at Wayne State. So we're going to talk about Savannah area football, how it's surfaced now to be one of the best areas to recruit in the state of Georgia and in the United States, and why Savannah football has come so far now that everybody loves it and everybody knows about it. Benedictine, Calvary, Savannah Christian, Country Day. You go down to Bradwell. I mean, the 912 is heavily recruited. So that's the show. Let me get into the local news, local sports like we do every week. We go 3 steps in the door. And if you have a comment, put it in the comment box, and I'll get it out there. And who it is, the man behind scenes that keeps me on track, because if my mic's hot or I don't turn the mic on, he's back there. That's producer Lawrence Bennett. Hey, Lawrence, I hope you had a great holiday. Love you, brother. Thank you for always checking in and, sending me those text messages when I mess up or the private chats here. So once again, you got a comment about the best basketball team in Savannah? Let's talk about it. You got a comment about the best football team, best football player? Put it in the comments box. We'll talk about it. And, of course, the number 1 fan after my wife, okay, is Dennis Kessler, Mr. Cavalier. Never misses the show. I appreciate all the comments, Dennis. Hope you had a great Christmas and Happy New Year. And as you always say, go Cavs. Dennis Kessler. Here every Saturday morning. You got to love it. All right, let's get this done because I promised the real Coach DeMasi now, real football coach, Coach DeMasi, that he'll be on about 9:15. He's sitting waiting patiently. Let's go 3 steps in the door. High school, college, and pro, okay? A lot of basketball on tap, which I remember to do this because I did it last night, and I spent a lot of time doing it. There's your scores from last night scrolling across the bottom of the screen. So if I go a little fast or you can't understand what I'm saying, it's right there. So let's start. Step 1, high school basketball, okay? All right. High school hoops last night. Final scores from the girls' games. Bradwell, 58. Woodville Tompkins, 26. Jenkins, 45. Windsor, 26. And they're got a big tournament at Jenkins going on today again called the Baller Tournament, Ball Her Tournament. All girls teams. Check it out. Go to my Facebook page. I got the schedule up there. St. Andrew's Invitation just finished with the boys last night. So there's more basketball in Savannah today. All right. New Hampstead, 52. Groves, 20. Richmond Hill, 54. Johnson, 40. Somerville, 59. Calvary, 46. Swainsboro, 50. Savannah High, 29. Trinity Christian, 37. South Effingham, 25. On the boys' side, Bethesda beats Orangeburg Prep, 68-63. Bradwell and Woodville Tompkins have gone at it now. I don't know how many times this year. 3 overtimes yesterday. And Bradwell won, 77-75. I mean, that had a big heck of a game, 3 overtimes. Jenkins beats Hart County, 49-48. They've won 2 out of the last 3. It's missing some key players yesterday because of the flu. Lucy Beckman, 54. Calvary Day School, 52. Monroe, 68. Savannah High, 44. St. Andrews, this is all boys. St. Andrews, 79. Mount Bethel Christian, 63. I got a story up there on Prep Sports Report, special to the Prep Sports Report. You got a story, send it to me. I'll post it on your school page. There's 23 school pages there. It needs some information and content. Send it to me, okay? All right? So that's the scores from last night. All right, and that's what I got off of Max Prep. So if they're not right, please let me know. I'll correct them. Let's go to high school basketball rankings, okay? And the girls, Bradwell is ranked 7th, probably the best girls basketball team, I think, in the area. Calvary was ranked 10th. They were 7-0, but they've lost their last 2. We had Daniel Jackson on last week. Go to my YouTube channel, Karl DeMasi Sports Report. You can see the young man. Great job, Daniel Jackson. In Class D1, Bryan County. All right, they're ranked 9th. All right, let's go to the boys. Bradwell boys now, Class 5A, they're ranked 10th. In Class A D1, Savannah High is 4. Woodville Tompkins is 6. Okay, so that's high school sports. Don't forget, we will have the WSAV Blitz Border Bowl coming up in January 13th. It's going to be a lot of fun. They've already named coaches. They're starting to pick teams. College, Savannah State men's and women's basketball teams are off. They'll pick up on January 4th at Lemoyne Owens. Where's that? Kentucky? Lemoyne Owens? I don't know, but they'll be at Lemoyne Owens on January 4th for a doubleheader. The ladies play, Lady Tigers play at 5:30. The men play at 7:30. USCB basketball, University South Carolina Beaufort basketball. They got a lot of local flavor, a lot of local kids, men's and women's. They'll play up next January 3rd versus Augusta State in their first Peach Belt Conference game ever. Just so happens for Augusta State, Zaire Zayden, right? Zaire or Zayden? Zayden plays the starting point guard there, okay? The other young guy's only a junior at St. Andrews, went off last night in the game too. So check it out. January 3rd, Augusta State is coming to the USCB Rec Center. That's where USCB, the Land Sharks, play their games. Women at 5:30, men at 7:30. College football recap. Georgia Southern went down. We know that 41-21. They lost to Ohio U in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Georgia Tech finished 7-6, beat UCF in the Gasparilla Bowl, 30-17. Georgia State all over Utah State at the, you got to love this, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl at Boise State on that blue football field, 45-25. And the big game today that everybody's waiting for, Georgia, 12-1 versus Florida State, 13-0 at 4 o'clock. We'll get Coach DeMasi, the real Coach DeMasi's input on that game to end the show. All right, but we got a bunch of bowl games going on. We have the Peach Bowl, 12 o'clock, Penn State versus Ole Miss in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The Music City Bowl, Auburn versus Maryland, 2 p.m. Orange Bowl, which is the game we're waiting for. It's going to be a packed house here. Florida State versus Georgia. Florida State got screwed. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, and Wyoming takes on Toledo at 4:30 in the Arizona Bowl. All right. Scads on spring break. Pros, Atlanta Hawks. What do you want me to tell you? I mean, they lost again last night. That's 4 in a row. I just don't know what's going on with the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, it's just crazy. I think it's the last. They lost 10 out of the last 13. They lost again last night to the Sacramento Kings. All right, let me get my notes here to remind me of the score. You know, they lost 117-110. You know, Trae Young, of course, 24 points. Matt Creerhoff, 5 steals. DeJounte Murray, had 18 points, but they had a 23-point lead in the first half. It's like Detroit, not as bad as the Detroit Pistons, okay? Then, of course, let's go to the NFL, the Falcons. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, people. They're 7-8. Big win last week against the Colts, 29-10. Taylor Heineke came in, did a great job. They benched Mr. Ritter. A lot of scenarios. All Tampa Bay, the Falcons, and the Saints are all tied, okay? This is going to be my last point because I know I want to get my son on here. All Tampa Bay has to do is beat New Orleans, and it's over. Now, will the Falcons make the playoffs? I don't know. The Falcons have to hope Tampa Bay loses 2. They have to hope that New Orleans loses 2 so they get in. Well, they did it to themselves. I mean, they lost to Carolina. I mean, they had the lead. I mean, I know it was a rain-soaked game, and it was 7-6. I don't know. It's just crazy. They wound up losing 9-7. So they blew a game to Tampa Bay, so I don't think they're going to make it. So that's basically what we got as far as in the door, 3 steps in the door. Next up, stay tuned because it's going to be the coach, the old ball coach, and the young ball coach, Russell DeMasi coming in. He's in from Detroit, Michigan, visiting family. He came to Savannah first. Then we went to Florida. And now he's back in Savannah. Now he's going to Atlanta. Then he's got to go to a coach's convention. I know he's all over the place, but I keep track of the kid, okay? But up next on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report is the real Coach DeMasi, the real football coach right now. And he'll be on to talk about NIL. We're going to talk about the transfer portal. We're going to talk about bowl games. We're going to talk about Savannah area football. You're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here, live on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Be back in about 3.5 minutes with the real ball coach. Hey, sports fans, looking for the ultimate sports and entertainment destination in Savannah, Georgia? Look no further than Coach's Corner. At Coach's Corner, you'll find everything you need for a great time, including TVs everywhere, so you can catch all the latest sporting events, an outdoor seating area, perfect for enjoying a drink or a meal on a warm day, a wide array of drink options from beers to cocktails, a comprehensive sports schedule so you can cheer on your favorite teams year-round, prompt service even when it's crowded, a fun and lively atmosphere perfect for letting loose with your friends, and of course, delicious food, from famous chicken wings, hamburgers to delectable calzones and pizzas. Coach's Corner menu is sure to satisfy your cravings. In addition to all this, Coach's Corner also features an upgraded sound garden. Now, more seats, more bars, and an upgraded sound system. It's the perfect spot for hundreds of fans to gather and enjoy the latest local bands, tribute acts, and rising stars. So what are you waiting for? Join us at Coach's Corner for the ultimate sports, music, and culinary experience. Coach's Corner can't wait to see you soon. Remember, Coach's Corner is located at 3016 Victory Drive, right in Thunderbolt, Georgia, and on the World Wide Web at coaches.net. Remember, Coach's Corner, where every day is game day. At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School, we consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
For over half a century, when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, or trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. From come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop's new location, 6606 Abercorn Street, Suite 102 in Savannah. Open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seasonal on Saturdays. At locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, come see where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road, Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., serving breakfast and lunch right here in Savannah, Georgia. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering has been serving the public for over 3 years. Now, if you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered to your door, go online to SavannahTakeout.com or DoorDash.com, or just pick up the phone and call 912-354-2914. That's right, 912-354-2914. Kabish, and remember, we ain't New York style, we are New York at Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering.
Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time, it makes you mad, the pain drives you crazy, you just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can, At the Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Weatherington at the Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And welcome back to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, to the Coastal Empire, to the Low Country, to Savannah, Georgia. It's here every Saturday morning, live on the Coach's Corner Sports Network, because it's presented by the Coach's Corner Sports Network, or Coach's Corner. Okay, got to thank John Henderson for letting me do this. Don't forget, there's another Boston Butt rib sale going on out front. Starts at 12:30. You want some Boston Butt? You want some ribs for New Year's Eve, New Year's Day? Come here. They're cooking them. Got the cooker going. He can tell you. We can smell it. Smells pretty good, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And no breakfast? Have some ribs for breakfast?
I'm down. Well, let's get him afterward.
He's down. Okay, but anyway, tough getting guests on because of the holiday. Kids are all over the place, so I figured what better way. We did this many years ago. I'm going to rack his brains here. I mean, he's been under my rear end for forever, since he's been born, but not really. He's been gone for a while, and other places, Shorter College, Savannah State, now Wayne State University, just doing a great job. Remember when we did this?
Had to be 2015, maybe 2016.
He's got a good memory. July of 2016 at the first Coaches for Curing Cancer Gala with Tim Adams. Yes, we did this on ESPN Radio. It was a lot of fun. So I got to brainstorm. Let's do it with my son. So he's the expert. So tell everybody now. You're up at Wayne State. You're living on Gibraltar Island, which is a nice little island in the middle of Detroit River. But if you look to the right, you can see the opening to Lake Erie. So give everybody a breakdown. What Russell DeMasi is doing now?
Yeah, no, I'm up the offense coordinator at Wayne State. It's been a good experience. We improved from last year. Obviously, it's our first year there under head coach Tyrone Wheatley. Improved from 1 win to 3 wins. Obviously, as a competitor, you want to win more than those, but improvement is good. And
but you were in close in 2 or 3 other games. It could have been a 500 season.
Yeah, they're close games, but you want to find a way to pull out the win. One thing we always talk about as a coaching staff is we got to help these guys and learn how to win. Something that's been tough to do at Wayne State recently, but we feel like we got a good group and we feel like we've got a good recruiting class coming in, and should be an exciting 2024.
So Wayne State University, it's right outside Detroit. A great place where he lives, about 20 minutes away. I've been up there 2 or 3 times, and I was there at Heartbreaker where they missed a field goal that would have won the game. And if you got a comment, you got a question for the real Coach DeMasi, put it in the comments box. We got his some sort of family line watching you on TV.
Yeah, Randy, good to see you. See y'all next week. It's going to be excited to get to go up and see my wife's family up near Athens. So very excited to see 2 nieces and an extended family, and it's going to be a great time.
So if you got a comment, put it in there. You want to know something about the NIL, name, image, likeness, you want to know something about the transfer portal, just let us know. So as far as Savannah goes, still home? You missing it, buddy?
Definitely missing this weather. It's 40, 45 out right now, and it feels pretty good. Anytime we get a chance, 45 and sunny, we're outside up in Detroit. But Savannah's always home, and excited to come back and see family, see friends. Do some things you don't get to do in the north in the winter, like play a little golf.
A little golf. Every day he's been playing golf since he's been back.
I'm going to be back there for 4 more months and not be able to play. I got to get it in now while I can. But it's good to see everybody. It's been 6-7 months since I've been back, and everybody's the same as always. So it's always good to be back in Savannah.
Yeah, I told him, dress warm. It's going to be about 37. Hey, Dad, that's warm for me, so I don't need a jacket. I got my varsity jacket behind me, but, we got the sun. It's behind the clouds now that keeps us a little warm here. But anyway, the reason why I wanted to come on is to talk about what's going on in college football, what's going on in Savannah football. And the biggest thing is, the NIL and the transfer portal. So the introduction to the NIL, you played college football. They didn't give you money when you were there, did they?
No, I was a walk-on for 4 years, earned a scholarship for my 5th year, but had a great experience, and that's what college football is about. So I was grateful to be able to play at Georgia Southern under, Chris Hatcher and Jeff Munkin, and learned a lot of different things and a lot of, what I use today in coaching. The money was just secondary for me. It was about the experience and learning how to do this job.
So, how is NIL? changed the landscape of college football, and what trends do you see happening? I know Wayne State's Division II, but give us your opinion on NIL and how it's changing the landscape and how it's changing recruiting and all that other stuff.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think it's awesome for the student athletes.
Right.
And, not the young men, right? They're 18 years old, 18 to sometimes 25, 26 now in college football. But they deserve an opportunity to, benefit from their work. And, they put in a heck of a lot of work, 20 hours during the season with coaches, without coaches. Who knows how much time they put in? It's got to be at least another 20. And then off season, what they do to train their bodies and get their bodies ready for a 15-round fight, essentially, is amazing. And they deserve that. When a school brings in money, they have the opportunity to, reap. So I think it's a great deal for the student athletes. I think what was intended of it has gotten a little bit out of control. But at the end of the day, you gotta see the positives in student athletes being able to benefit and earn money from their work, because that's what it is. It really is a job for them when you get to the college level. And I'm excited to see where it goes, but I think there will be a lot of changes.
So, in your opinion, and we hear about it all the time, how has the NFL, the NIL, the name, image, likeness deal, influenced the overall competitiveness of college football now?
I don't think it's influenced as much as the transfer portal has in the competitiveness. But there's got to be some balance to it. And I think those are what the changes you're going to see coming. One of the things we always talk about, I think you see a baseline salary for each conference, or for, something that each school can compete with. Because what it's really doing is it's putting the bigger schools, in a new league, and the smaller schools are getting a little bit farther away, I think, with NIL. And it's all just based on what your school can afford to give. But I think, like I said, the big dogs are going to continue to get more money and get more money for players. And I think the smaller schools are going to continue to struggle with that. So I'd be interested to see what the changes are made, and what restrictions are put on schools and what restrictions are put on student athletes.
I mean, it just definitely does some justice for. I mean, because watching you go through college 4 years, a walk on athlete. I mean, scrounging for the extra bucks, and then finally, Coach Monken, I appreciate it, honored you because of your loyalty. You got the scholarship for your last half of your senior year. But I mean, have you noticed changes in the high school students, the high school athlete, considering the opportunities that this deal, the NIL deal, makes, and how do you think this will impact the traditional recruiting dynamics?
Yeah, I think it's affected certain people. I think some people still do it the same way. They want to pick the best program or the most winningest program at that point in time. Some people choose it because they feel comfortable in that atmosphere and they really like the coaches that are there. They can see themselves succeeding in that atmosphere. But now you've got, a new dynamic, right? And some people are choosing it and going to the highest bidder. And that's everybody's right, depending on, how much people see value in you. But, I think at the end of the day, it doesn't create as much love for the school that you go to. And again, don't want to knock anybody for making money, because they deserve to make it just as much as anybody else. But I think that reason for choosing a school is a little bit more in play now than it was before. And like I said, that might be why you see so many people in the transfer portal, is because they're looking to make the next buck, and looking to make that quick dollar, where instead of going in and putting in the work and, fighting or fighting for that reward on the field, it's just given to you right after you leave high school. And I think that's another thing we're going to see change. I think another thing we'll see change is, how freshmen are compensated for coming to a school. I think if everybody starts with the baseline and that's the only thing they can make, then it forces them to come in, produce, do the right things off the field as well as on the field to earn a sponsorship, after their freshman year. Or so maybe after the first game, if they've proven that they're going to be a guy for the team, they can get rewarded more significantly. So I think that'll be interesting to see as well.
Well, he just went into the perfect segue. So do you foresee any potential guidelines being implemented to address the evolving nature of this great deal for college students? And how might this impact the sport on a national scale?
I think there's going to be changes. I don't know what they are.
Do you think the NCAA has the right to make those guidelines and those rules?
I think they will. Do they have the right or not? I'm not sure. I think eventually, at the end of the day, it'll be up to the universities and the conferences. But there are going to be changes. Like I said, I mentioned a few of them that I think could potentially help it or could potentially even the playing field. But you have no idea what they're going to do. You know, you have no idea what the conferences, the NCAA, what decisions anybody is going to make because everybody's got such different opinions about it.
Right.
But I think at the end of the day, trying to create a more level playing field for everybody, at least initially, from going from high school to college or going from college to college, would be the first step in making it, like you say, a level playing field and have more competitive games week in and week out.
Yeah, I agree 100%. If you're just tuning in, you're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report live on the Karl DeMasi Facebook page, the Karl DeMasi YouTube channel, the Karl DeMasi, the KD Sports Report Twitter, the Coach's Corner Facebook page. We're all over the internet. And, of course, you can watch the replay on YouTube after we get off the show. And I got my son, Russell DeMasi, who's now the associate head coach, offense corner at Wayne State University, D2 up there in Detroit, Michigan. So that solves the NIL problem that, well, we discussed a little of it. If you got a comment, jump on in. Russell, you got people watching there, buddy. Michael Kearney. Good seeing you, Coach DeMasi. Proud of you, buddy. And go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Going to be a good one today, huh?
And the man, the myth, the legend up there, he knows what it's like now to be in cold is Zaquan Bryan. You know, the good old Benedictine got a start in the bowl game last week. And, hey, I got a highlight of the kid making a big play in the game at the end of the show if you want to watch it. That's right, Zaquan. You made my 3 videos out the door, buddy. Proud of you. Love you. Tell good old Anthony Bryan, or we know as Dooley, appreciate you. Appreciate him keeping me up on you. And look at this. The wife is checking up on you. He's not on the golf course. He's here with his dad. It's unbelievable. After she went out and probably ran 10 miles. I mean, fitness fanatic right there, Kate DeMasi. All right. Little over here. We're going to do this quick. I wanted to talk about the transfer portal. Given the increasing number of players entering the transfer portal and I think messing up the college bowl season, how do you think this trend is shaping the overall landscape, once again, of college football?
Yeah, it's different. Again, a lot of it goes to I'm all for players' rights in any capacity, really.
Well, you were a player once.
Yeah,
you remember the drudge and trying to find out where your next meal is going to come from.
I do. I think that, coaches have a lot of protection in this game and players need it as well. And that's what the transfer portal is giving them. I'm for the transfer portal, but in saying that, I'm not for leaving an opportunity without seeing it out or seeing it, all the way through. And, for different people, that has different timelines. For some people, it might be 6 months. For some people, it might be a year. But I think with the rules in the transfer portal that people are given an out earlier than they should. I do think there should be free transfers in college football. I believe if you're not having a good experience at a place, you don't feel like you're getting treated fairly, there should be an opportunity for you to go find somewhere else and play. Now, the reality of it is I think there's too much of that happening. I don't think enough people really understand that the opportunity they were given the first time is usually going to be probably their best one because those are the people that want you there. But again, I think it's a good thing for football. I think it's another thing that's going to have to be policed in the end.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know this is on my question list, but what it's done to this bowl season is sickening. I mean, like Oregon State the other night, they weren't Oregon State that was. I mean, I feel, I don't know how you feel, NCAA or somebody's got to come and say, you know what, you cannot enter the transfer portal until the season's over. Well, then we got the rebuttal. Well, then they can play sick or say they're hurt if they don't really want to do it. But I mean, it just weakens the whole bowl season.
I mean, I think that's definitely a good solution. I think definitely having the transfer portal open first after all the bowls have been played or after your team is done playing in their championship segment is a great way to look at it. But then you got to look at it from the player perspective, right? Is the national championship happens on January 8th. The 6 bowl games happen on January 1st. And if a student athlete waits till then to see who can recruit them, they're not going to get in school for the spring semester. And that's kind of the predicament. Maybe the predicament is shorten up when the season ends. Maybe it ends earlier in December now or before Christmas. You don't have to wait a month to play in a bowl game.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you.
But there's a bunch of potential solutions to this whole deal, and it'll be interesting to see what happens, whether the conferences or the NCAA decides to do.
And here we have a freshman at the University of Minnesota, Gopher, and this is what he's got to say. Zaquan Bryan, standout Benedictine football cadet, graduated freshman at Minnesota. he thinks some freshmen are leaving too fast. They need time to develop. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's hard for freshmen to play in general anyway in college football.
No matter what level.
No matter what level.
I agree with you.
You're going from a high school program to a college football program. It's your first time there. You got to think about what those athletes on campus are already doing, right? Once they get done with the season, they're in a college weight program and with the team for 15 practices, for over 40 lifting sessions, for 12 running sessions. They are being developed to the fullest in their body. The high school student athlete can do whatever he can to train for coming into being a freshman in August. I tell all of them what determines if you'll play is what you do between the time you sign and what you do in August when you get to camp. But the reality is you're never going to get that same work as you are get the same work in front of the coaches that are going to be coaching you the next year as you are on a college campus. And I think that's what the rush is for in the transfer portals, to get people on your campus in the spring so that you can have a full 6 months to develop under that coaching staff. So I think, he's definitely right in that they're leaving early and not giving themselves time to develop. And they just got to be honest with themselves. Am I not playing because I'm not ready yet? Or am I not playing because I feel like I'm getting treated unfairly?
Right.
And I think not everybody is honest with themselves. And I think as we get further into this thing and people keep getting left in the portal, because you see it, almost 60% of student athletes that get in the portal don't go to another college, don't get another opportunity to play. I think as we move further into this thing, student athletes will start realizing that the best opportunity that they had is at the school that they signed with.
Well, we went a little over, and I know I had a couple more questions for him, but we'll come back. I do got to take a break. We'll come back and finish up the transfer portal and get into Savannah area football, because he's a product of Savannah area football. So you're watching the Karl DeMasi with the coach and the real Coach DeMasi right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Once again, don't forget, I know him and I are biting at the bit because we didn't eat breakfast. I mean, we got the what do you call that big thing out there? The smoker?
The smoker.
The big smoker. We got Boston butts. We got ribs for sale. Starts at 12:30. Come out here to Coach's Corner. Get your butt for New Year's Day for the bowl game today. Okay, everybody's going to be watching Georgia, Florida State, and check it out because they're on sale right now. All right, 3.5 minutes. I'll be back with the coach, Russell DeMasi, finishing up the Karl DeMasi Sports. Not really finishing up, Lawrence. Don't get work. We still got 2 more segments to go. Hey, sports fans, looking for the ultimate sports and entertainment destination in Savannah, Georgia? Look no further than Coach's Corner. At Coach's Corner, you'll find everything you need for a great time, including TVs everywhere so you can catch all the latest sporting events, an outdoor seating area perfect for enjoying a drink or a meal on a warm day, a wide array of drink options from beers to cocktails, a comprehensive sports schedule so you can cheer on your favorite teams year-round, prompt service even when it's crowded, a fun and lively atmosphere perfect for letting loose with your friends, and of course, delicious food, from famous chicken wings, hamburgers to delectable calzones and pizzas. Coach's Corner menu is sure to satisfy your cravings. In addition to all this, Coach's Corner also features an upgraded sound garden. Now, more seats, more bars, and an upgraded sound system. It's the perfect spot for hundreds of fans to gather and enjoy the latest local bands, tribute acts, and rising stars. So what are you waiting for? Join us at Coach's Corner for the ultimate sports, music, and culinary experience. Coach's Corner can't wait to see you soon. Remember, Coach's Corner is located at 3016 Victory Drive, right in Thunderbolt, Georgia, and on the World Wide Web at coaches.net. Remember, Coach's Corner, where every day is game day. At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School, we consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
For over half a century, when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, or trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. From cutting and equipped at Thompson Sports Shop's new location, 6606 Abercorn Street, Suite 102 in Savannah. Open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seasonal on Saturdays. At locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, come see where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road, Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. serving breakfast and lunch right here in Savannah, Georgia. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering has been serving the public for over 3 years. Now, If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian catering goods delivered to your door, go online to SavannahTakeout.com or DoorDash.com, or just pick up the phone and call 912-354-2914. That's right, 912-354-2914. Kabish, and remember, we ain't New York style. We are New York at Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering.
Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Weatherington at the Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And good morning, Savannah, the coastal empire, the low country. You're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report or listening to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report on many different internet sources. But I'm here today with my son, Russell DeMasi, the coach, the real football coach, because I'm not coaching football anymore. So we're getting his perspective. We just got his perspective on the NIL, name, image, likeness deal for the athletes and the transfer portal. We didn't get a chance to wrap it up, so we got one question to go that I'm going to ask him. But, hey, if you got a comment, put it in the comment box. Or you got a question for the coach or the coach, we would love to answer it. And got to thank Zaquan Bryan and Kate DeMasi and Michael Kearney and Randy Gordon for watching the show, placing the comment in. But the man himself, he's always watching. #1 Cavalier fan. Watched my son coach there 2 years ago. So he's checking in. And Russell, he says, welcome home.
Yep, good to be home for a little bit.
Savannah is his home. Even though he was born in New York, Savannah is his home. And that's Coach Russell DeMasi right here live on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. All right, wrap up transfer portal, wrap up NIL. Consider the both of them. How do you envision the future of college football evolving, and what potential challenges or opportunities do you anticipate for the sport as a whole?
Well, I think the end goal for everybody is to try and get positive, student athlete compensation for each and every one that plays, and positive things happen for student athletes. So they're going to continue to make those steps. But I really think you're going to see a lot of regulations in both the areas. Again, we've talked about so many possibilities already in just 20 minutes, but they're endless. And I think whatever it'll do, it'll be to create a level playing field so that every game anybody can win. And that's not always the case in college football. But a lot of the times in conferences it is. So I look forward to seeing what they'll do to make it a fair playing field, and you can watch every game to the end of the fourth quarter.
Nice. All right, segment number 2, Savannah, Georgia football. You know what? And he's heard me say this his whole life. Savannah, basketball is king. Okay, it's been that way since we moved here, since I started coaching at Jenkins. The basketball players are above the rim, but football is starting to catch up. And, like I said, Savannah Christian product, went to the not semifinals, but state playoffs with the good old Coach Chumley, and went on to walk on at Georgia Southern, played with his good buddy Tyler Subner. It was fun watching him in high school, fun watching him in college, and then now, short of college, started out with his grad assistant, then Savannah State for 6 years, right? 6 or 7? 7 years recruiting the local area. And then, of course, now he's up at Wayne State recruiting the Detroit area. How would you describe the state of football in Savannah, since you've been a big part of it your whole life? And what makes the local football scene unique compared to other regions in this state or in the country?
I think it's growing fast. I think it's growing at an exponential rate because of what people are investing in football at a young age. You see all the trainers all over Savannah and getting the receivers, the lineman training. I mean, for every position, you see somebody's out there that can give you extra work, that you're not just a practice guy. You're looking to get better outside of practice time, which is what all coaches want to see. I think that we're going to continue to see traffic coming through here from colleges because they're starting to recognize the talent. And to be honest with you, the reason why it's growing faster and faster is because the amount of relationships that are being built with college coaches, right? Once they come in and whenever the first one was, whether it was Franklin Green in 2008 or your guys at Groves and John Armstrong and Sage Glasper, You come through, you meet coaches, and you start to create relationships. And when you get a good player or two from a certain school, you have a tendency to go back to the school and say, hey, well, who else you got for me? Who else can play at this level? So I think that'll continue to happen. The guys down at Florida State and Minnesota and, at Savannah State, at Georgia Tech, at Georgia. I mean, they're all over the place. And and a lot of them were started playing football in Savannah. So it's exciting to see the growth of it. And I think it's going to catch basketball real soon.
All right. So now, in your opinion, okay, you're the recruiter. What are the strengths and challenges for high school football programs here in Savannah and for the athletes?
I think number one to start, especially at the public schools, is there's so many, right? There's so many. And for a long time, Savannah played in the highest division of Georgia football, right?
Yes.
But you've got a school of
Lucky
900 going against a school of 2,000, right?
Right.
And, that's difficult. And you found ways to compete. You found ways to keep yourself in the football game. But at the end of the day, the depth of a football team with 2,000 kids in the school versus 900 kids in the school is usually going to win out. So I think, a lot of schools is an issue in Savannah, and it's not going to change, but now they're playing in the right division. Now they've really got to continue to get the coaches in that are going to be invested in the student athletes. But I think another thing that could be big, and I've seen that it isn't the case in Savannah, is all over South Georgia, there's a football class. People have football school, and one of the periods during the day is devoted to football, whether that's first period, last period. You get all your athletes in one class, and you can get so much more accomplished when that happens. I think that's a big thing that Savannah needs to integrate, and it can go on to basketball. It can go on to every sport, right? If you have a sports specific class, you can get into your work a little bit earlier in the day and find time for student athletes to have more time for, first of all, practice, right, and film study. But second of all, for after school, for homework, for studying, right. Because when you only get to practice after school, you're not getting home till 7, 8 o'clock. It's pretty difficult to focus on your academics. So I think that could be a huge thing that could help out Savannah.
All right, and you just rattled off a bunch of kids. I mean, we got Warren Brinson at Georgia. We got Luke Cromenhawk, and now Jake Merkley. Like you said, they went to school. They went early so they can get into the game. Can you share any notable success or achievements of players from Savannah and how this success has changed the reputation of this area?
I think there's too many to name, right?
Right.
There's a bunch of successful athletes from around Savannah. I mean, look at D'Angelo Brown, got an opportunity to go and play at Louisville and play in the NFL, and is now running a successful training business out here in the Low Country.
Right.
And that's not the only one. And I know
Ben Patrick played in the Super Bowl, had a Super Bowl touchdown. I mean, people. DeMarcus Dobbs. Every time he went from Georgia, every time he went to a pro team, they made the playoffs.
Played in an NFL team, was a third down pass rush specialist. There's so many.
DJ Dallas out in Seattle now.
Yeah, I mean it's endless. The names are endless. But what I love is usually you see everybody coming back to support Savannah area and Savannah area athletics, Savannah area youth, right? Not just athletics. You see student athletes that are in college right now coming back. Nolan Smith. I mean, playing for the coming back and putting on clinic after clinic after
stay
clinic.
out. Yeah.
I mean, just guys that always come back and give back to the community. And I look up to those guys, even though they're younger than me. It's something that, I hope I can do in the future is come back and give back and, create that pipeline earlier. They're not just looking at getting into football when they're getting into high school, but they're looking at getting into it when they're idolizing in middle school, those guys that are playing on the next level, whether that be college or NFL.
I mean, they were taught well. Look at Kalen DeLoach. He comes back, and his dad's got the factory going.
Yep.
These kids are getting there early, getting the weight training they need. So, it's great. I'm telling you, people, you know what? No longer you just root for your team. Oh, I went to Jenkins, and this kid's now up in some college. We're sticking together. And you've noticed that Savannah now has come together. Even though these kids, they grow up in the youth leagues, or I call it peewee football. I know it's not politically correct, but, and then they go to different high schools. They still support each other. I mean, just that, when they do that camp at Daffin Park, wherever Coach DeLoach does it, Rob DeLoach does it. I mean, you got these kids coming from all different teams, all different areas. And it's such great to see that. The camaraderie, even though they didn't play high school football together, there's so much camaraderie. I mean, like today, Kalen DeLoach, he's at Florida State. He's sticking to his guns. He could have walked away. He announced that he's going, but he's playing that last. But then on the other side, you got Brinson and you got Lassiter, who he played Little League football with. I mean,
Pretty crazy connection, right? And I think, and again, as Savannah continues to grow in that youth area of football, the people that get put out from Savannah are going to continue to get better and better and better. I mean, and you look at it this year, how many top recruits there were in the area. There had to be close to 10, 15.
What was the last time we had 4-star quarterbacks?
Yep.
I mean, it's simply amazing.
And I think another thing that makes Savannah incredible too is, we're talking about the Georgias and the Tennessees, but the amount of student athletes that go to FCS schools, to go to D2 schools, D3 schools. I've
NAIA.
I said that, and people agree up in Michigan that's kind of been the difference, right? Is you've got 2 to 4 kids that might want to go and play football from their senior class. Now, granted, it's a little bit smaller of a school size up there, but here, I mean, you're surprised if you talk to a senior and he doesn't want a chance to prove himself at the next level. And they're getting those opportunities at Erskine, at Savannah State, at Gardner-Webb, at Mercer, at hopefully at Wayne State soon.
Yeah, I got you on that one. And we got some comments here. Okay, we're going to save Lawrence Bennett for the last segment. Okay, but we got Anna Adams watching. You guys look great. Happy New Year to the DeMasi family. Anna, Tim Adams' wife. Happy Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, New Year's to your family too. All right, and then of course we got we're talking about giving back. Okay, Zaquan doing his camp this summer too. I mean, it's just something special that we see here. Look out for the Zaquan Bryant summer camp to go along with all these other camps. Your kids are going to get a lot of instruction this summer. So, it's a lot of fun watching. All right, I know we're running out of time. Looking back at the past years, do you think there has been adequate level of exposure to Savannah area football, or it's been a big hit since we got all this internet craze? You got TikTok, you got Facebook, you got Twitter, you got Snapchat. I mean, and you know what? He can vouch for this. I know he's going to give away his age, but he used to sit at the table when I'm breaking down VCR film and what a pain in the butt it was. And then we went to a DVD, and now we're at Huddle and all his internet programs. Do you think that's been a big factor?
100%. Twitter is really the big recruiting factor in football. That's what everybody has to have or uses. It's a great way to get your name out there. Go look at all the guys that are giving advice on how to set up your Twitter and making sure your name and your bio, your GPA, your test score, your height, your weight, all that stuff. Your Huddle link is in your bio. It's a great way for football coaches to connect with you and to see, to immediately get a chance to watch you. But I think Huddle has been the biggest thing to really help out everywhere that's a little bit remote, right? Savannah is a little bit remote, even though we might not think it.
Oh, we're stuck in that little cove here on the
right
South Coast.
Off 95 and 16. It used to be, you think back, I mean, Huddle came around 2008, 2010, somewhere around there.
Yeah, in there.
Before that, college coaches flew into Atlanta and they drove and they dispersed from Atlanta, right?
Right.
It was hard to go into the single county schools around here because really Savannah is crazy in that the fact that we're the only county south of the 16 that has more than really 2 public schools, right? We have close to 15 schools counting public and private. So
altogether, there's 21 schools playing football, high school football.
Exactly. And
you throw in coastal homeschool, that makes 22 schools.
And if you're on the way here from Atlanta as a college coach, you might only pass 3 counties that have football. Now, granted, they're really good counties like Dublin and
Camden,
East Lawrence, and those types, and Brunswick, exactly, those types of places. But it was hard to get there. Now with Huddle, you can focus on recruiting, right? Before I even go into a school, I know who I'm going to look for. And then at the end, after I've talked about the people that I wanted to talk about that are seniors, I ask the coach, is there anybody else you think that could fit our program? Because you might miss, watching a Huddle link, or somebody might not have put together their film. But I think Huddle and the internet has really made Savannah grow because we've always had the athletes, right? You've said it. Savannah's been a basketball school. I can remember when we were in 5A and 2 Savannah schools were playing against each other, right? That's going to happen in football eventually as that exposure comes and people see the benefits they have from going on to college and playing on a football scholarship.
Well, it's just crazy. Okay, let's end this part. Okay, so from your perspective, your personal perspective, your coach, what steps can be taken to get more exposure in Savannah as a football hub? Like you said, they used to fly into Atlanta as the hub, now fly into Savannah. How can local stakeholders, football fanatics, help get this evaluated and help the profile grow even more?
I think you've seen it from the programs that have stability, right? Those programs that have been winning and have those same coaches year after year and build coaches from within. Those schools really got it rolling, and people come and stop by, and they're going to hit those certain schools that have been successful in the past or created a program where kids want to be. And I think the more that is invested into a football program to help them become sustainable, right, self-sustainable, and to put out a positive product every Friday night, the more you're going to see college coaches come to those schools, right? College coaches want to go get kids from winning programs, right? Everybody has good athletes, but it's hard to find a winner. It's hard to find a kid with a winner's mentality, and usually those come from programs that have been winning and programs that the standard has been set. So I think the more, stability that we see at the schools around Savannah in their football programs that keep the same coaches year in and year out, that, put kids in the best spot to get recruited, then we'll see more college coaches coming through and recognizing the talent for what it is.
Well, that's segment number 3 in the books. Lawrence, you got a perfect question to end the show on, which I'm going to get to, so I'm not going to post it yet. If you got a comment, put it in the comment box. Don't forget, right here at Coach's Corner today, let me get my notes here, okay? Because, he's watching me read my notes. He's getting this off the top of his head. Let's go right here, and I got to go here. Let me go down to where of course, it's not coming up right away. All right.
Looking for the football games?
No, I'm not looking for football games. I'm looking for what's going on here today at Coach's Corner. I posted it. Keep going, Coach. Keep going. Oh, here we go. All right. So this is, of course, I got to plug the band that lets me do the show here since March of 2020. All right. Do you have butts on your mind? That is Boston Butts, ribs. Don't miss out because this stuff is going to vanish right here very quickly. Coach's Corner. This is from John Hennessy. I will be smoking 16 butts, 48 racks of ribs. You think maybe we get a rack of ribs? And 8 beef briskets today for New Year's Eve pickup. If you want to pre-order, call Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933, 912-352-2933. New Year's Day, we'll have a complimentary Hoppin' Johns and Collards. I wonder what that is. Available from 11 a.m. until they run out. So get here. It's on sale right now. I'm telling you right now, the aroma is killing us because we're hungry. All right, we'll be back with the last segment. The Coach and Coach will be taking 3 steps out the door. You're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. 3.5 minutes. Got to thank the people who are sponsoring me. Hey, sports fans, looking for the ultimate sports and entertainment destination in Savannah, Georgia? Look no further than Coach's Corner. At Coach's Corner, you'll find everything you need for a great time, including TVs everywhere so you can catch all the latest sporting events, an outdoor seating area, perfect for enjoying a drink or a meal on a warm day, a wide array of drink options from beers to cocktails, a comprehensive sports schedule so you can cheer on your favorite teams year-round, prompt service even when it's crowded, a fun and lively atmosphere perfect for letting loose with your friends, and of course, delicious food, from famous chicken wings, hamburgers to delectable calzones and pizzas. Coach's Corner menu is sure to satisfy your cravings. In addition to all this, Coach's Corner also features an upgraded sound garden. Now, more seats, more bars, and an upgraded sound system. It's the perfect spot for hundreds of fans to gather and enjoy the latest local bands, tribute acts, and rising stars. So what are you waiting for? Join us at Coach's Corner for the ultimate sports, music, and culinary experience. Coach's Corner can't wait to see you soon. Remember, Coach's Corner is located at 3016 Victory Drive, right in Thunderbolt, Georgia, and on the World Wide Web at coaches.net. Remember, Coach's Corner, where every day is game day. At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School, we consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
For over half a century, when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, or trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. From cutting and equipped at Thompson Sports Shop's new location, 6606 Abercorn Street, Suite 102 in Savannah. Open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and seasonal on Saturdays. At locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, come see where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road, Tuesday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., serving breakfast and lunch right here in Savannah, Georgia. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering has been serving the public for over 3 years. Now, if you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered to your door, go online to SavannahTakeout.com or DoorDash.com, or just pick up the phone and call 912-354-2914. That's right, 912-354-2914. Kabish, and remember, we ain't New York style. We are New York at Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering.
Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Weatherton Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Weatherington at the Weatherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And welcome back to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network, because it's presented by Coach's Corner. Got to thank John Henderson and Del Henderson for letting me do this since March of 2020. And it's been a lot of fun. And once again, it keeps going every Saturday morning because there are sports to talk about here in Savannah, Georgia. And it's New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. We got some big bowl games. But like I do every show, we're taking 3 steps out the door. That's where I find 3 social media videos that I think is really cool. Well, it just so happens there's 4 today, and hopefully there'll be a lot more this weekend with all the local guys playing in all the local bowl, playing in the live bowl games. But I showed you this last week, and this young man remembers this kid very well. He played 2 years at Calvary, finished up at South Effingham. I showed you this week, but I got to show you again. Rocco Griffin scoring a touchdown for the University of San Antonio, Texas, right? The Roadrunners? I think that's
Texas El Paso, right?
No, I think USTA.
Yeah, you're right.
Rocco Griffin up the middle, into the end zone, touchdown, UTSA.
Pretty special watching that, right?
Capitalize, cashing in.
Good play, nice run, good blocking.
You know, he played his first couple of years at Vanderbilt, and I guess, it wasn't where he wanted to go. But with the transfer portal, he got himself a deal at USTA, and he's doing a great job.
And that's a great example of somebody getting an opportunity when they didn't have one, and the transfer portal working out.
All right, next one. The Beach Bulldog himself signed with South Carolina. I don't know if he ever played there, but he wound up at Northern Illinois as the Huskies. Antonio Brown. This kid has gained over like 1,600 yards this year, and he's phenomenal. He didn't score a touchdown in a bowl game that Northern Illinois won, but this is one of the highlights. I think this was the longest run of the game for him. I think it was a 32-yard run. Antonio Brown from A.E. Beach High School. No volume. There he is. You got him number 1 in your hearts. Nice run there by that local Beach Bulldog guy, eh?
He's a great player. I remember recruiting him out of high school, and
trying to get him to go to Savannah State, right?
Yeah, he's doing a great job up in Northern Illinois. Get to watch him often on Mac Action, right?
All right. Now the next guy doesn't get any love, just like Dylan McMahon, who played yesterday for NC State, who's going to the one of the NFL showcase games. Okay, Dylan McMahon, Savannah Christian, number 54, center. He's projected maybe to be a center in the NFL. Well, this next young guy is out of Richmond Hill, Georgia Tech. He's got some smarts, too. He's just an animal. Joe Fusel from Richmond Hill High School. Remember Joe?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I tried to put a little arrow there, but it didn't work. You're going to have to watch on the bottom of the screen. I think it's the second or third guy in, number 67, how he opens the hole so Georgia Tech can score or take the lead when Georgia Tech beat USF in the Gasparilla Bowl. Okay, you'll see number 67 right there. Not bad for an offensive lineman, eh?
Ask them to finish with their feet in the end zone all the time, and he was one of the only ones in there, so I give him a plus on that play.
And if you once again watch, my arrow did show up. There he is. His feet are in the end zone. So my arrow did show up. I didn't think it did. So I'm a novice at this, but got to give the Hogs some life because I don't know if you believe this like I believe this. You win games in the trenches, right?
100%. We preach it every day where I work now, and it'll never change.
And I was so excited to see this kid. He's been throwing comments at us the whole show. Zaquan Bryan. I mean, Minnesota. Like you said, wait your turn. Learn. And he got his chance in the bowl game the other night, and he made a big big play, breaking up a big pass play. Number 4 in your hearts, as always, Zaquan Bryan for the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
The Collins defense showing a little pressure. They backed out of it, and through coverage, that's knocked out. Fannin had it for a moment, but a really good job in coverage there. Zaquan Bryan had the coverage on Fannin, who stays down after that hit.
Zaquan Bryan, buddy, Zaquan. Okay, but once again, there's a kid that he's waited the whole year. He got the job done. He's got a chance to play. Comes up with that big play.
Yeah, and I saw somebody post it the other day that is essentially spring practice number 1. Hey, man, that's a great start to showing the coaches what you can do, and I know everybody in Savannah is proud of you.
And you know what? I know I don't blow my bubble up, but I had that kid on my show. You can remember when he was 7 years old. Him, Luke Cromahawk, Nasir Samuels, they were all on my show because they were all-stars at that early of an age. And I got the goosebumps watching this kid do this again. Just get the name right on. That's what I mean. I know you don't want to hear me go off on my tangent.
Did you get all the names right?
No, I don't get all the names.
Okay.
But I'm not calling a nationally televised bowl game.
Nationally televised show.
Yeah. I wish, okay? So those are my 4 videos in the door this week, and hopefully there's a lot more with today and tomorrow and the rest of what's going on this weekend, because I love watching our kids from Savannah, Georgia make names for themselves. Okay, Karl's Corner. This is how this all started. Back in 2003, I got on a radio show for 5 minutes every Saturday morning, okay? Every Friday morning with Bill Edwards. Then it led to my own radio show. Then it led to ESPN Radio. Now I'm not on ESPN Radio, so now I'm doing my own internet show, and it's been a lot of fun. I usually give you my feelings about something that's going on in sports. Well, today I'm going to take a break because I got this guy home for a little while. Let's talk about, is it Monday? New Year's Eve? Monday. New Year's Day. We got 2 big games going on.
2 big ones.
You got, of course, Michigan taking on Alabama, and then Washington and Texas. So, everybody's hoping for that Alabama-Texas rematch. Let's take Michigan first. Michigan, Alabama. In your perspective, who do you think is going to win?
It's hard for me to say who's going to win, but I know it's going to be a great football game. I think, I think both teams up front are very good offensive line and defensive line wise, especially front 7 on defense. I think the biggest matchup in the game is going to be Alabama's secondary versus Michigan's wide receivers or Michigan's tight ends, whether it's the safeties or linebackers covering the tight ends. Michigan's done a great job all year in play action and getting guys wide open. But I think this is the best secondary they're going to play against all year, coached by the best secondary coach probably of all time, right? Nick Saban. So I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to come down to the wire, and whoever can make the big play last. I don't think there's going to be a lot of big plays. I think like you saw last night in the Missouri-Ohio State game, It's going to be a defensive battle. It'll be interesting to see if Jalen Milroe will sit in the pocket and make throws, or he's going to be that athletic guy that when he doesn't get his first read, he's going to get outside the pocket. I think that's when he's most dangerous, is on the move, guys coming up to play him on the run, somebody get open down the field. But I'm really excited to see this football game, and I think it's going to come down to the last drive in the 4th quarter.
My perspective on it is you got 2 good teams, and what I like about this game is you don't have any kids leaving. You don't have any transfer portal kids leaving. You don't have any NFL players leaving. We're going to get a real football game. That's what I'm excited about. We're going to get a real football game where the teams that were the teams during the season are going to be the teams on New Year's Day. Texas, Washington. This hurts most because I feel the team that deserved it over Texas did not get in, Florida State University. And I think the cop-out for the College Football Bowl committee was, while they didn't have that starting quarterback, give me a break. Give me a break. You want to talk about editorial? They did what they had to do. They won the game. They're 13-0. They won a power conference title, and they get shafted. It bothers me the most. This game, I'd love to see the underdog, Washington, with the quarterback. What's his name?
Michael Penix.
I'd love to see them knock off Texas. I really do. Can they do it? That's your job. What do you think?
I think it's going to be opposite of the Alabama-Michigan game. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I mean, both the quarterbacks, right? Ewers, who is a transfer from Ohio State, right? So transfer portal helped him out. Michael Penix, transfer from Indiana.
Yep.
So 2 transfer portal quarterbacks that are now the guys for their team. I love the way Washington spreads the ball around, has different schemes on offense. It seems like not even every week, every quarter or every drive, they really put the defense on their heels. And then Texas is they know what they're going to do. Sarkisian is going to find a way to exploit your weaknesses, and they're going to take advantage of it. But I think this is going to be a throw the ball down the field game. I think there's going to be big plays made on both sides. This is going to be what defense can make a play at the end of the day. But I look forward to seeing a high octane game. Very different from the first game. But I really think that, again, this is a last drive, maybe a 2-minute drill to win the football game. And can the defense step up and make a stop? Because I don't see either of these quarterbacks being slowed down.
All right, so I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to go with my heart on this one. I'm going to go Michigan-Washington in the national championship game.
Michigan-Washington.
Yep.
Should be a good matchup.
What's your take? You put your coach's hat out. What do you think as a coach?
No, I think, at the end of the day, it's hard to go against Nick Saban, but I think it might be Michigan's year to get into the national championship and to win the national championship. But I think they'll end up playing Washington, as you said, and then that'll be really quite the contrary. That'll be Michigan's defense versus Washington's offense, and that's going to be, whatever that is, that's going to be a heck of a matchup.
Well, you got it right there. We're both going Michigan-Washington, so we'll see what happens. I went with my heart. He went with his experience. Okay, people have been putting comments. Don't want to leave him out here. The man himself, Sean Herb, the 19th hole, the man himself, selling butts, ribs, and briskets. Are you doing that today, Sean? I wonder, because I'm excited about it. It smells really good. And the golden arm, as I called him way back on ESPN Game Day, Stevie Powers checking in. Russell, let's get on the golf course.
He doesn't want to see me on the golf course. Haven't been playing very well.
And, of course, Randy Gordon, appreciate you hanging in there. Love the show, Coach DeMasi. Can't wait to try some of the amazing food. Happy New Year, my friends. You too, Randy. Tell the family up there in Winder, have a good time. I know 4 o'clock is going to be big for you guys, okay? Hey, and he still got the videotapes when he was on the show. I got to love you, Zaquan. You got to let me see them. I'm probably still bumbling and stumbling like I did back then. All right, before we get to Lawrence Bennett's comment on today's Georgia-Florida game, well, he wants to know, Coach DeMasi, who's more competitive? You, Coach DeMasi, the OG, Coach DeMasi, and the athlete himself, Don DeMasi. So who do you think is the most competitive?
I think it's pretty even. But I can say when we're going against each other, I'm more competitive. I can't stand losing to Dom. Been losing to Dom for a while. Hopefully I'm going to get him here in the next couple of days. But, never want to lose to the younger brother. And I can tell you he doesn't let me live it down when he beats me. So it's a good family rivalry.
And you know what? I guess they got it for me because when the whistle goes off, I'm the most competitive you're ever going to meet. Okay. And I guess they get that from their dad. And I can tell you from the side yard football games, side yard wiffle ball games, these two, Dom and Russell, the most competitive kids I know. All right. I'm going to put you on the spot here. We got to talk about this game quick. Like I said, I gave my feelings about how Florida State got screwed. But there's a bunch of kids not playing. But they're all kids like Kalen DeLoach from Savannah, Georgia, Islands High School, that even though he said he's committed to the NFL draft, he's going to play. I just don't think Florida – I think they lost like 15 starters or 15 kids to the transfer portal. Yeah. That make a big deal. Georgia has lost that too, but it hasn't been the major Georgia football players like it has been with Florida State. And, of course, they're not going to have their quarterback. Mm-hmm. They should be in the national championship playoff system, but they're not going to do it. They're not allowed to do it. Also, I heard that there's a judge that's going to help them sue whatever it is, the ACC. But anyway, what's your thought on this game, Georgia against Florida State?
Well, you keep talking about Florida State, but really both teams probably should be in the college football playoff.
Yeah, I
right?
agree with you. Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't this be the best year for 12?
Yep.
I mean, we've got so many teams out there that could compete for it, I think, this year. And this is a bowl game of two teams that had those aspirations. Like you said, nobody's sitting out for Georgia, a lot sitting out for Florida State, so the natural instinct would be to take Georgia big. But I know Coach Norvell is going to find a way to get his guys ready to play. I think at the end of the day, Georgia does end up winning the football game because they have the most guys that are cohesive and played all year. But look for Florida State for early to make it close, and if they can keep it close going into the second half, there's no reason why it can't be a football game.
And you know it. Besides Notre Dame, who is my team, Georgia has been my team since 1980 when they beat Notre Dame. I'm a homie. I'm rooting for Kalen DeLoach, and I'm rooting for Florida State. I'm rooting for a kid that I had the privilege of coaching in basketball, not football. But, I mean, it's just that Savannah tie. Even I know you got Brinson, you got Lassiter, you got Brown, who doesn't play much. He's, I just got to root for what they did to Florida State. So will it be close? I hope so. Do I think it'll be close as a coach? Probably not. But I hope it is a close game. And of course, the producer – behind the scenes, 42-6. I don't know.
I think that's what everybody's saying. I'd love for it to be a closer game.
So we'll see what happens. But once again, I appreciate you coming on. You've grown into a fine young man and a kid that cares about the kids he's coaching. And keep the great work. And God has a calling for you, whether it's wherever you wind up, you wind up. I mean, you've done a great job and you're making us proud. And I know. Maureen's watching upstairs. He's still going to be an Irishman his whole life.
Always going to root for Notre Dame. I think Nan put that in us, but it's always fun coming on the show with you. Love getting to talk sports and, seeing what you do, and you put a lot of effort into it, and it's awesome.
It just doesn't happen. Just sit home for an hour and show up and start talking. It takes a lot of work.
So,
but as I say, the hour and 11 minutes, I know, Lawrence, I'm going to be way short of my hour and a half. Always flies by, especially when you do it with your son. Remember, every Saturday morning from 9, usually till about 10:30, right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network, you can listen to your source for Savannah area sports, the coach, the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. And, of course, Lawrence, it's awesome because you let me do what I do, and you always got my back there, brother. Love you. Happy New Year, all right? So remember, everybody out there, please say a prayer for this crazy world. Happy New Year. Whatever you're doing today, tomorrow, like a guy, like maybe you hit it out of the park. Hopefully he hits it out of the golf course today and tomorrow and Monday. Well, I mean, it's just golf for this kid. And until I talk to you next week, may it be your best week ever. God bless. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. And I'll see you in about a week. I'll be talking to you. Hey, go on the YouTube channel and subscribe and like it. Okay? I really need the support. I'm out of here. God bless. Peace out.